Zach Everson runs the newsletter 1000 Pennsylvania, which reports on the Trump Hotel in Washington. And you know, Zach, you can never profile people, right? You know that. You can't learn a lot just by looking at someone, right?
Correct.
And so we don't profile you. Eagle-eyed viewers may recall you were on the show earlier this week. You were stumped by David Corn. He threw out a line from Snoop Doggy Dogg, and you knew it exactly top of the dome, and we salute you for that, Zach.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for.
Now on to the business. You have been tracking this. We'll put up on the screen, thanks to your work, the number of Republican senators that have been spending money at the Trump Hotel properties. Right. That's just from public sourcing. Walk us through again, and for viewers who may not know about your work, although we've relied on it, what it is you found and why you thought it was important to track this apparent patronage.
Sure. I started looking at social media to see if we could find out who was spending money at the Trump Hotel, and you absolutely could. They're posting pictures on there. I started off in, I guess it was August 2017, and it was Anthony Scaramucci and Rudy Giuliani, and here we are a couple years later, and yesterday it was a governor of one of Pakistan's provinces, and Rudy Giuliani again, because he's a regular there. But you can really get a good glimpse of what's going on. So the senators, it's a mixture from FEC reports on campaign finance and also just pictures that I've seen of them online. And we've had, I think it's 26 out of 53 Republican senators have been there, only one Democrat senator. Right.
So it's the majority of their caucus and counting. It adds up to real money. The New York Times saying nearly 20 mil spent at Trump family hotels since 2015, only by Republican political groups. Based on your knowledge of the travel industry, which again is what you have some background in, is that an unusual amount of money for a hotel to get strictly for political reasons rather than what we might call earned or meritocratic interest in staying there?
Well, what really stands out is how Republicans didn't go to Trump properties until Trump became president. I mean, that is just the fact that you can see. You've seen Mike Pence's committee has spent $225,000 there. Minority Leader McCarthy's committee has spent over $225,000. The RNC has dropped over $400,000, and a pro-Trump super PAC has dropped over $500,000. I mean, right there, it's clear cut. He is profiting from the presidency.
Margaret?
And I don't know if Zach included this, Pence's PACs have paid $250,000 at Trump properties already. So, what's striking about this is it's not hidden. It's all in plain sight. Right. It's bold. It's out there. And Democrats are just getting around to it. As Jason says, where have they been? I mean, just walk into the lobby. Thank you, Zach, for doing it for us. That's really hard duty. But it's there. It's not hard to get. You don't even need subpoenas. Just you've got the documents. The documents are really powerful.
Right. In this new House investigation, we're not going to learn anything new. We already know that when Trump went to Doonbeg in, I think it was 2018, or excuse me, one of his Scottish golf courses in 2018, the taxpayers were on the bill for $77,000. The Scotsman did a great job reporting that. We know that they're going to request these documents. Maybe they'll get them. Maybe they won't. Information might leak. But the end result is going to be that the taxpayers were probably on the hook for about $50,000. What matters then is what the Democrats do with that information, if anything. Because right now we're seeing nothing. There's 7 different House panels that are looking into aspects of Trump's businesses. And we haven't seen any public information. And we certainly haven't seen any sort of change in behavior.
Jason?
And all right, I got to say, what are they looking for at this point? Yelp reviews, right? Did they want the senators to be like, well, I didn't like the dinner here, or the continental breakfast wasn't that good? What this basically amounts to, it wouldn't even require an investigation. This looks like kickbacks. I almost feel bad for some of these Republicans. They probably feel like if I don't spend money in a Trump hotel, he won't endorse me. He'll attack my primary opponent in 2020. Why it is that these members of the Senate can't realize that they are actually being taken advantage of as much as the American people is amazing to me, because I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys would rather spend the night at a Holiday Inn than $900 a pop at a Trump hotel.
Yeah. The only mystery here, Ari, is that William Barr needs Trump more than Trump, Trump needs William Barr more than William Barr needs Trump. But he's spending $30,000 out of his own pocket. Of all the expenditures, it's the one that I find mysterious.
Right. I find it telling because I've covered Mr. Barr, and I've said before on air, he is a very bright person. whatever you think of what he does with his intelligence. And he didn't take a long time hanging out there in this new role. He's one of the more recent cabinet members to figure out how it works and how to ingratiate. And that's a chilling statement when we're talking about matters of literally life and death. I mean, who lives and who dies and who protects the prisons and how do executions work. And his focus was in not only getting a holiday party planned, but getting it leaked and getting it out there that he's routing the money that way. On a lighter note, Jason, do you know how you can tell whether a continental breakfast is solid when you're on the road?
I do not. Please tell me.
My test, and I love a free included continental, is whether there's multiple types of juice. If I come in and it's only OJ, it's okay. But if I see the grapefruit juice, I feel like this Holiday Inn, and on the campaign trail, we end up at a lot of Holiday Inns. That's when you know it's a nice continental.
Ari, breakfast was included at the Doonbeg for your $1,000 a night.
Not just bread, but OJ. I like it.
I don't know about the OJ at the Doonbeg, but you got breakfast.
It's fitting we're talking about this with Zach here because on the beat, we try to go all the way from OJ to OG.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Zach, sorry.
No worries. You've got to up your standards for how you judge a continental breakfast.
You know, I'll try to be funnier next time.
Jason, I was impressed.
Margaret and Zach, thanks for your analysis, for putting up with me, for being on the beat on a Friday. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.